All right, some more major news came in over this weekend in the world of AI, crypto, and VC, and that is that David Sacks has been appointed by President-elect Donald Trump to be the AI and crypto czar. This is pretty interesting, so let's talk about it. All right, so this news came out Friday afternoon, and it was widely praised by a lot of people in the VC and tech space. If you're not familiar, David Sacks was one of the original COOs for PayPal back in the day. He was part of PayPal Mafia alongside Elon and Peter Thiel and a bunch of other people who've gone on to do amazing things. And so ever since the early 2000s, he has been very ingrained in the VC tech ecosystem in Silicon Valley. This new role of AI and crypto czar is understandably something that has been created for this next cabinet. So, of course, the responsibilities aren't super clear-cut yet, but in Trump's statement, he said that David would be responsible for outlining some of the regulations and the guidance for how the U.S. approaches AI, crypto, and all of that moving forward. Trump wants the U.S. to be the global hub for these technologies, and he thinks that David Sacks is the go-to person to make this happen. Also included in this role is kind of the regulation of free speech and ensuring that people have the platform and the ability to speak freely, something that, of course, was a big topic of debate this last election cycle and is still ongoing in certain other parts of the world. As I said before, David Sacks was one of the original members of PayPal. He's part of PayPal Mafia, which is super notorious and famous in Silicon Valley as being just amazing entrepreneurs that have all gone on to do great things. For him, after PayPal, he ended up creating Yammer, which he sold to Microsoft for $1.2 billion. He's also made several early lucrative angel investments over the years. I think it includes Palantir, SpaceX, Airbnb, Facebook, all of the big boys. In addition to that, he is also a member of the All In podcast, which is a very popular podcast in the VC and tech kind of Silicon Valley space, alongside Chamath, David Friedberg, and Jason Calacanis. I myself am a pretty big fan of their podcast. I listen to it every week just to get a good grasp on kind of what's going on in the tech ecosystem. They're all super educated about the space naturally, and so I always come away learning something new. But in addition to just the educational aspect of it, they also have had some major guests on. Of course, they had President Donald Trump. They had JD Vance a while back. They've had Vivek. They had RFK Jr. They've had Mark Cuban. They're powerful guys, and so they're able to get some pretty impressive people on the podcast. And of course, it's a podcast, it's virtual, so it's a little bit more informal than you may see, in certain news interviews and stuff like that. So that was kind of how I got introduced to them, and I have been a fan ever since. And throughout all of this, I think David Sacks has always provided some great commentary. So overall, I think this is pretty exciting news. I think there is absolutely no reason that the US should not be first in the world when it comes to AI, when it comes to cyber, when it comes to tech, really anything. I don't think there's an excuse for the US to not be number one. And I think David Sacks is the right person to help us solidify this spot. Regardless of your political opinions, I feel like that is something that you want to get behind. And I think it's really cool to see kind of the team that Trump is building. Of course, he's already had Elon and Vivek helping or planning to help with the Department of Government Efficiency. But since then, he's also brought on some other really big players to come in and help out and kind of lead where they can. And that, speaking candidly, is a future that is exciting for me. I want people who have been there, done that, have had tremendous success to then come in to government and do the same there. And ultimately, I'm just happy to see David Sacks get some support and recognition for all the work that he has done over the last several years. This appointment really was widely accepted by the tech and Silicon Valley community. Sam Altman made a post about it congratulating David. But I think because of David Sacks' connections and just all of that, this is going to be a great step in the right direction for the US, especially at such a pivotal point that we're in with respect to crypto and AI and all of that. It is time to put the foot on the gas and make some cool things happen. So with that said, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Do you think this is a cool move or not? Let me know. Overall, this has just all been super exciting for me to see. As a fan of David Sacks and a fan of the All In podcast, and ultimately just a fan of alternative media, this is a guy who had a podcast, and now he's being appointed to a very important role, I think, for someone who creates content myself and isn't part of kind of the traditional media it's just super exciting to see. And it also just proves kind of the impact that you can make posting online and having important conversations. And with that said, I will see you in the next one. Peace.